promote the competition to the small business owners that you want to have participate in the program?
As far as the applicants, we're going to have student entrepreneurs, and as far as the small business owners that are already existing, essentially along the lines of the competition, we're also offering almost a consultancy service. Because in talking to a lot of small business owners in our community, we realize that traditional consultant services are not available to them just because of the fees are too expensive and they're out of reach for these type of businesses. And so in talking to those small businesses in our community, we realize that the part they're actually the most interested in is the consultancy workshop that goes along with the grant.
What is this competition?
This competition is going to take place in October. So the workshops prior to the competition to develop the business plans will take place in the summer and then in September, and then the actual competition will take place in October.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I just had another question about your green project, and I wanted to understand how you were able to get funding for that, the compost bin, and starting that part of the process going.
My mother actually works for the solid waste agency back home in Chicago, and I just called them up and I asked if they'd be able to donate a 100-pound compost bin for us, and they were glad to do so.
On the ethanol project, why did you choose wood pulp as opposed to other materials that are available?
In the original part of our trials, we chose wood pulp because that's what was most available to us. There's a huge pile of wood mulch in the back of our facilities department, so we just have that available. And in the last couple of weeks, like we talked about in our presentation, we've switched over to food waste because of the higher sugar content. The original wood pulp was just because that's what we had the most of.
On your business plan competition, what processes do you have in place to track the success of these small businesses moving forward?
So after the competition, or actually at the time of the awards, we're going to enter a legally binding contract with the winners in order to make sure that they would work for us for a year, like we talked about with the consultancy services. And that's part because we want to make sure that the funds are being used for what was described in the business plan. We also want to make sure they do attain the goals that they described in that same business plan. And that's also a way for them to feel like they have access to that consultant services.
Any other questions? Okay, judges will join me in thanking Upper Iowa